Buenas tardes, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's information session about Freddie Mac's university programs. Today's program is part of our year-long commitment with Freddie Mac to connect HHS' vast network of young professionals and students with personal and professional development in the workforce through internships, mentorships, fellowships, full-time positions, mobilization, and sharing of knowledge. Freddie Mac's internship and analyst programs provide opportunities to take on a variety of challenging roles and make your mark on several projects. We will hear from employees who have firsthand experience building their career at Freddie Mac. So joining us today, we will also have Freddie Mac's talent acquisition team who are ready to answer any of your questions. So please make sure you set your comments in the chat to all audience and not to the default of the panelists, because we want to make sure that everyone hears from you. Make sure to submit your question in the Q&A window found at the bottom of the Zoom bar so we have the opportunity to answer it live during the Q&A session at the end of the program. So before we hear from our speakers, I do want to remind you all that the applications will be opening in the first week of August. Our team will make sure to be in touch with you to confirm the details upon confirmation. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Aisha James, Business Management Senior of Information Technology at Freddie Mac. Thank you for joining us, Aisha. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to be here today. I hope everyone can hear me. Like you said, my name is Aisha James. I work at Freddie Mac. I am one of the co-leads for our IT early career hire programs, which includes college hires and interns. A couple of fun facts about me. I actually came through the college hire program 7 years ago. So I started at Freddie Mac straight from Penn State University. I had a degree in information sciences and technology. So I started as a college hire and have been here ever since. So this is my first job, but I've been able to kind of grow it into where I am now in my career, which is leading the college hire program. I am Afro-Latina, so I'm half African-American and half Puerto Rican. That's why I have the flag, because I wanted to represent. But I'm glad to be here today to talk to you guys about our fabulous opportunities in IT. So first, let me talk about the college hire program. So what is it? What it is a 12-month transition program from college to corporate. What that means is you will be hired into a full-time position. So you'll have a manager, you'll have a project team or a team that you'll work with day to day, but you also have the college hire program as kind of like an umbrella over your first year. So what does that mean? We help you transition. So we give you some business acumen skills. We help you develop your professional development skills. We help you learn some more technical skills. So if you're a developer trying to hone in on the Java or Angular or Spring Boot, we give you that training and we set you up with some in-house resources that'll help you kind of adapt those skills. We also help you get more aligned into your role. So if you aren't a software developer, maybe you're in information security, maybe you're doing more of a business analyst role. We help you get that on-the-job training to actually learn what does that role entail? What kind of skills do you need to pick up? Because again, we don't expect you to come into Freddie Mac with 20 years of experience. No, you have your college experience, you have your past internships, you have your project experience in college, and that's all you need coming into the door. And we'll help you gain the rest of that knowledge to make you the best corporate professional as possible. So we help you over those 12 months and help with that transition. On top of that, learning and development, you also come in with a cohort of your peers. So you're not the only one coming into Freddie Mac through the college hire program. There's about 20 to 30. This year, we actually had the biggest cohort of 60 who just joined us in January of people coming in straight from Freddie Mac, first job straight out of college. So you come in with a network, or what I like to say, friends from day one. You guys go through the program together. You learn together. We have monthly town halls where we talk about different topics going on. We help you learn additionally outside of your role-based training and trying to hone in on your business skills. You also come together and learn more about Freddie Mac. We know, a lot of people don't know what Freddie Mac does and what it means and how do we contributing to making home possible. So we help you gain that knowledge over your first year. And then after you leave, after the program ends, which is 12 months after your start date, whether that's you start with us in January because you graduate in December, or you start with us in June because you graduated in May, you stay in that job role. So it's not a rotational program, or it's not a job where you have to find an additional job afterwards. You stay in the job that you're hired into. So think of us again as like your friend over the first year, helping guide you you, mentor you, coach. You'll have me, you'll have our fabulous team helping you throughout the way. We check in with you every 2 to 3 months just to see how things are going. We also check in with your manager to make sure that they're providing you the level of support you need as someone fresh out of college, starting your first career. So we invest in you, and we hope you invest in Freddie Mac by learning, the technology, learning everything it means to be a Freddie Mac employee. Because we have a lot of great resources and a lot of great benefits, which someone will talk about later. But you'll get all of those resources coming to Freddie Mac. Now let's talk about the internship program. So our internship program runs from May to August, so end of May, early August. And in some cases, you have the opportunity to extend that internship more of like a co-op. So we've had interns who stayed with us. Let's say if you're a rising senior or you're a rising junior going into your senior year and you intern with us, there's a possibility you could extend that internship and work during school if you can manage that. Again, we're not going to force you or ask you to work if you cannot manage that. But if you're up to it, we have opportunities to work part-time when you're back at school until you graduate. So you'll be continually to work with your team through that internship. So talking more about the internship, you come in, you have a team during those 10, 11 weeks internship program. You also have me and my colleague as your, same thing with the college hire program. We'll still coach you and mentor you over those 10 weeks. We also have what we like to call our innovation challenge, which is more of like a group project. So not only are you working on a project team with your manager and your teammates, you also get to work with the interns in your cohort. So this year we actually had our biggest intern cohort of 47. Last year we had 20 interns. So we've grown exponentially of how many interns we bring in over the summer. But you get to work across, different departments and different interns, learn about them, go through the project together. We partner with some of our business lines, so single family business and multifamily business. They give us a business problem and you guys get to tackle that business problem from a technology lens. So you look at it, talk together, think of it innovatively, think of it creatively, and come up with a solution. That doesn't mean we're expecting you to code anything by the end of the summer, but how would you think through the problem? And again, these are real life problems. We're not just giving you a problem that's been sitting on the shelf. We're giving you problems that our innovation labs are actually working on. So not only will you leave with work experience, you'll leave with the opportunity to work on a real life Freddie Mac problem. So that is our internship in a nutshell. And in addition to all of those great things I mentioned, you also have the opportunity to leave your internship with the Aws Cloud Certification. So we offer the Aws Cloud Practitioner certification, like boot camp in-house. And if you're up for it, and it's completely optional, you have the opportunity to leave at the end of the summer with the certification if you'd like to take the test. So we'll actually pay for you to take the test. So you'll leave your summer with a great experience, friends, and as well as a certification. So in a nutshell, that's all about our college hire program and our internship program. I'll be here at the end to answer any questions, and I hope you apply in August. And without further ado, I will pass it on to Mariana Barroso. Sorry if I butchered your name.
That's okay. Thanks, Aisha. Hello, everyone. I am Mariana Barroso. I am a single family analyst, and I'm going to talk to you today about my journey having only 1 year under my belt here at Freddie Mac and the college hire program. So let's start a little bit about me. So like I said, I've been at Freddie for 1 year. I started last June. I graduated from Penn State, just like Aisha, and I majored in economics. And now I even live in the area near headquarters, which is in McLean. I am also Brazilian. That's why I have the flag there, which is why I'm especially excited to talk to you all today and meet you all. So my parents are first generation immigrants. I'm the first to, go to school, go to college in the United States. So these kinds of events really mean a lot to me, reaching out to everyone and helping kind of break some stigmas and, really have those open conversations. So again, thanks all for being here. So let me talk to you a little bit about my role. So I did come in through the college hire program, but the role that I landed in is just, my title is like a data analyst. So when I come in, I work full time. That's just how I got hired. So what I do is I kind of help support the applications that Freddie owns. And I do a lot of like maintenance behind the scenes, make sure everything's flowing seamlessly. And this is all for like the best customer experience, right? So if you are familiar with any kind of home phrase like an appraisal, a refinance. If you know anything about a property value on a home, I do a lot of that work day to day. You totally do not need to know this before you start. I did not know anything about it. Like I said, I majored in economics. So refinances, we don't really talk about that too much in the major, but that's not the expectation coming in. You don't need to know, kind of what you'll get into. You're taught on the job, which is great. So that's kind of what I do. I work on a larger team now. It started smaller, but we got larger. I really like my manager. I really like my teammates. And you do learn a lot. Even in 1 year, I'm surprised. I feel like I could teach myself a year ago a lot that I was confused about. So don't worry about, needing to know exactly what Freddie does, exactly what the industry is. Like, you'll learn all of that. That's something I was worried about, but that's kind of my role. So through the cohort is how I got that, like I said. So the college cohort program, similar to Aisha's program that she was sharing, it is a 1-year transitionatory program from undergrad to corporate life. I really had a great time in it, but the point is to get you acquainted while you're in your full-time position, while simultaneously helping you build professional development, giving you access to networking, giving you a lot of these opportunities to, grow yourself as not just an employee, but also, someone who has these skills that can be versatile in a lot of different scenarios, right? So it's 12 months. Ours was about 35 people this year. They also do have an internship program, but I didn't come in through that actually. I came in just through the college cohort program. So in terms of networking, they do offer lots of great opportunities, but especially access to senior leadership. We do twice a month. We call them coffee chats, and senior leadership can be, a director, a VP, someone, project manager that you wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to speak with one-on-one like you would, just day to day. You might not bump into them, but this is a time where you can really kind of know the story of how someone got to be in their position, ask them those more personal questions that, might feel awkward to do when you're starting, but they're very open, and you can kind of learn how to see yourself in that role, and then therefore get to that role someday. So for example, the name Donna Corley might not mean anything to you right now, but she is the VP of our company. She works right under the president, Mike Hutchins of Freddie. And that's amazing that we got to speak to her in a more, formal but still casual setting in that sense. So it's a really great aspect of the cohort that I really, really appreciated about it. They also allow you to network a lot. They introduce, a lot of these speakers are really eager to learn more about these like fresh young faces coming into Freddie. There are lots of people who work at Freddie for 20 plus years. So you can network, on your own, do like through your day job with people you need to connect with, internal partners, but you can also do that through the program. There are some speakers who, say like, I'm very willing, just message me. I'd love to chat more with you. You can also do that through what Freddie has, which is called an ERG, an employee resource group. And this is basically a group for, different types of people to feel more at home, more safe, and comfortable in a kind of corporate environment. So what I mean by that is that there is Hola, which is for our Hispanic and Latinx members. There is WIN, which is for women empowerment in the corporate workforce. There's groups for all sorts of like racial and ethnic groups. There's even one for working parents. So it kind of shows, Freddie is very cognizant of the fact that there are many different types of people working at Freddie. So they want you all to have a space. I'm involved in some of those. They're a great way, to network. And there are just really fun activities that you can do during your workday. So great opportunities there. And, Freddie in general, I think has some really awesome corporate perks. So one of them is called a Spot Award, which if you feel like you're working with someone and they're doing just a really great job to help you out, you can send them an Amazon gift card on Freddie's behalf at no cost to you, which is awesome. Freddie helps you reimburse your tuition from undergrad. You can set it up, monthly payments. They also will help you with educational assistance if you want to pursue higher education, like a master's or any sort of training. When you eventually buy a home, they even help you with your down payment. You already set up your 401k, and it's pretty easy through the portal that they have. So a lot of these things, they already start for you, which is great when you kind of need a helping hand to do that right out of college. Some things are a little bit too confusing to do all at once. So really the experience that I've taken from Freddie in this 1 year and through the cohort especially is that Freddie is really all about what you make of your experience. There are so many opportunities that you can take, but you have to be the one to take them, right? There's lots of people that are supportive and that want to help you, but it's all about what you want to see in the company and what you want to see yourself doing. So, for example, I really do care a lot about diversity and inclusion. I'm so happy to be here talking to everyone. But I noticed that there wasn't really a centralized place for people to learn about upcoming days of remembrance or, certain events that they will need to take time off for or not be in the office, and just to be cognizant of that. So I helped start a group from, bottom up and create like a monthly newsletter where everyone can read about upcoming holidays and just create a more respectful and open conversation around those. So again, it's really what you make of it. The college cohort experience is great. You have other people who are in the same boat as you, and you all learn together and you make friends. Like I just went out with a few of them last night to get ice cream. It's super fun. So I hope you all consider it. I'm happy to take questions at the end. Thank you all very much for joining, and I'm happy to pass it on to our next speaker, Ayodeja Barber. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mariana. My name is Ayodeja Barber. I'm Finance Director here at Freddie Mac, and I'm a member of the Finance Analyst Program Committee, and I'm here to talk to you about our finance program. Earlier programs I've spoken to you are one-year programs. The finance program is a two-year program, and it's a rotation program where you go through multiple roles. You go through 4 different rotations over the 2 years. The program is designed to help you grow really quickly by having multiple experiences, by learning different things. And I call it having a job within a job. You get to go through 4 different jobs in 2 years, whereas in other places, for you to get that kind of experience, you have to go outside and look for another job. So you have that risk there, but with this, you get 2 years to have 4 different experiences. And you have a lot of training opportunities to pick up on what has been said earlier. With this program, you will get a mentor assigned to you and also an analyst buddy. The analyst buddy will be a current analyst in the program who will be there to just help you, to guide you. You can bounce things off of them. You can ask them questions about what to expect and learn about their experience. You can network through them. They're just to support you. The same thing with your mentor. You have access to them. The mentors are members of the program committee, and so you have access to them as you wish. We also have the officer mentoring, which is more a group mentoring session with an executive in finance or 2 executives usually, where you'll be able to hear about their story, you'll be able to ask them questions and interact with them and network with them during that 2 years. There are a host of programs just to network with each other, to learn about each other, to hang out with each other, which is done virtually now because you can't, we're not in the office, we're all remote. And so you have all that as well. Now, a little bit more detail about the program. It's a 2-year program where you have to go through 4 rotations. You switch roles every 6 months. You have to do 3 different kinds of rotations. We have 3 categories. One is the accounting close, which is where you close the books, the financials at the end of the month. the journal entries, all the accounting. You have to do that at least once. Then you have to do what we call the management reporting, which is really analysis, financial analysis. After the books are closed, what does that mean? What is driving the numbers? What are the details? What does this mean for the business? You help inform the management of what is truly driving the financials and the business, and what the impact of initiatives that have been taken by the business, how that ends up in the financials. You kind of get to help the management understand that story very well. And then the third kind of category for the rotations is called a specialized rotation. This is non-core finance or accounting rotation. You have functions such as Office of the Economist. That is one of the popular rotations. You also have rotations that are non-core finance, like capital markets. And then you have the opportunity to do a rotation within one of the business segments. We have a bunch of them with the single family business, where you actually go and spend 6 months working in the business, and then you move on to your next rotation. And after doing those 3 rotations, you get to choose a repeat. The repeat is not necessarily the same team you work with. So you get to repeat either a close, a specialized finance, or a management reporting, but that is not the same as repeating the exact same team. So it could be another team doing the similar thing. And you go through that, and at the end of your 4th rotation, by then you have better understanding of what you like. Do you want to be in finance? Do you want to go outside finance? You have a much better experience, much better understanding of what finance is about, of what the real world of finance is about in the corporate world. Because as we all know, truth can be stranger than fiction. And once you do that, you move on to a permanent role, and that becomes your permanent role at that point, a role of your own choosing. You will look at available opportunities which could come about through networking while you're in the program, or one of the teams you had worked for might really like you and come ask you to join their team. Or you go and look around and say, okay, this is what I like, and you can get into that role as your full-time position after 2 years. By then, you would have learned a whole lot of skills, right? Soft skills, hard skills. There are a lot of training at Freddie Mac that you can take by yourself. We have the Freddie Mac University, and there are also trainings organized by finance. So the analysts in the program generally come together and decide what kind of training do they like, and then they put together a class for the analyst, all organized by the analyst. So you get that opportunity as well to plan and figure things like that out. We also have an intern position as well, intern program, a summer internship program for rising seniors who will be graduating the following year. It's a 10-week program, 3 months from May to August, sorry about that. And it's not a rotating program. You get to be with one team, and it's a full-time job. You're not twiddling your thumbs. You're not just there waiting for things to happen. You will be fully engaged by that team. You will be treated like another team member and have a full load of work on your plate. You will be able to take on as much as you want, as much as you can take. The team will really task you and help you grow, help you learn skills that will be useful for you, both when you go back to college to finish your final year, and also when you move on to your career ultimately. And the beauty about the internship program is, if you have a successful program where you did well in the internship in the summer, and you signify interest in the analyst rotation program, all you have to do is have a conversation with somebody on the program management team. They will have a conversation with you, assess you, vis-a-vis your feedback from your internship, and you get an offer. You wouldn't need to go through the application or the interview process. You just get an offer extended to you, and you join the program and enjoy all the benefits that we have to offer. I will encourage you to find out a bit more about the program, to apply. It is a really rewarding program. If you want to learn, you want to grow really quick, because you kind of get the experience that will take more time to gather in other roles from this program. It's really it's an accelerated learning program that is designed to help you grow, help you pick up skills very quickly, and help you become a more mature person in your career. I will be available at the end for questions. And with that, I will hand it over to Jahira to talk about the multifamily program.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jahira Caballero, and I was part of the multifamily real estate analyst program. So I have been working at Freddie for 4 years now. Time has gone by really, really fast. I can't believe that it's already been 4 years, but I came from George Mason University, and I studied finance. So I was born and raised in the DMV area, and I actually now live in LA. So the program is slightly different compared to the rest that have been discussed today. So multifamily analyst program is for 1 year. And how it works is it's typically a 3-step interview process. And it's all multifamily. So it's apartment complexes, large properties. And there's so many divisions within this section of the company. And so you are being interviewed for all of the positions. You apply, you go through the interview process, and for Friday day, that's what they call it, like the finals, final interviews. You have about like 2 types of your last interviews, and it's kind of like a bid. You say the 2 type of top jobs that you're interested in, and then they get in a room and they kind of place you, and then after that you automatically get the job if you make it through, right? And so I was placed in asset management, and so within the program you're doing all these different types of trainings, as mentioned before. And so you're also being, it's like a networking as well, because you're able to talk to VPs, directors from different divisions. They teach you the different parts of multifamily. So you may be hired in asset management, but you're going to learn about underwriting. You're going to learn about capital markets. You're going to learn about so many different parts of our industry and why we do what we do, how can we improve, etc. So if you don't know a lot of information about multifamily, I promise you will know. Aside from that, so I was part of the program for a year, and then I was approached and was offered another job as an underwriter, but for a target affordable housing. And this position allowed me, was actually posted to go into the LA office. So I ended up moving from the DMV area to the LA office, and I've been in LA for 3 years now. And that's what's like really cool about Freddie Mac. You don't only have to work at in the McLean office. There's an LA office, there's Chicago, Dallas, there's a Irvine office. There's multiple offices and multiple opportunities to not just live in one place, but to go to different places. And so in underwriting, I currently, well, unfortunately, not with COVID and everything, but we travel a lot. We travel and we go to different properties and we do inspections. And I'm also able to, my main bread and butter is looking at deals. So I get these packages, and they're asking us, we want this type of amount of loans. And we talk to our legal team, we talk to the insurance team, we look at the appraisals, the third party. So that includes like zoning reports. We're looking at every aspect of this land or this building, and we're seeing what are they eligible? What can they, with what they're offering and what they're asking us, can they get the amount that they're asking for? And so that's my job, is literally getting into the nitty gritty of all of this and being able to offer them a loan amount that hopefully that they desire. Again, there's so many different career paths that you can get into multifamily. It's honestly, it's truly a blessing. And within working at the company, I actually started pursuing my master's in Georgetown University in real estate. And so I am very happy to say I'll be graduating in December with my master's. And what's great about it is Freddie Mac paid for like 98% of it, practically like 100% of it. And I mean, who does not love that, right? You know, you're debt free. It's amazing. Freddie Mac offers a lot of benefits. You know, they offer help paying for your loans for your undergrad. So they give me some portion to pay back for my undergrad. They offer even paying a portion of your phone bill. Because I'm in the LA office, I get my gym paid for. I mean, when I was traveling, you know, I would get that all paid for. I mean, flights, foods, you know, rental cars. So it's really been an amazing experience. And I'm a very proud Salvadorian. And I'm first generation. And so entering into the workforce was very hectic. You know, I didn't really have like parents to be like, oh, how was your experience in the corporate world? I didn't really have that. So this program really, really caters and helps and like allows you to move from college into the adult world, because the adult world is a whole different language. And then the corporate world is another ball game. So this kind of these type of programs allow you to transition from college to the adult life a lot smoother. And a lot of corporations, they don't offer that. So I am very appreciative of Freddie Mac and all my experiences here that I've had. So definitely, I would recommend anyone this opportunity. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to look me up at Freddie on my LinkedIn if you need to. I'm always here for questions, and I will pass this on to Jessica, the Q&As.
Thank you so much, Haida, and all of you all for taking the time to share your experience and the wonderful tips. I wish we, you know, these opportunities were shared more within our community, right? All these great perks at working at Freddie Mac and just hearing life at Freddie Mac, right? So thank you all. And it's definitely refreshing to hear that you don't necessarily need to be a pro in terms of knowing what the ins and outs are at Freddie Mac, that Freddie Mac provides that learning curve there. So I know it's going to be helpful for a lot of the students who are joining us today. So with that, we are moving toward the Q&A session portion of the program. So just want to quickly remind everyone that if you do have any questions, please make sure to submit them in the Q&A window found at the bottom of the Zoom bar to have the opportunity to have it answered live. So with that, the first question that we have is from Paola Romero. And this question is directed to Mariana. So at this moment, I will ask all of our speakers to turn their mics, turn their cameras on, and then just have your mics on once you're answering the question. So Mariana, Paola asks, for SQL and Tableau, did you learn these tech skills on the job or before? If so, what are some great resources to learn beforehand?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking. So SQL, I learned completely on the job. I honestly didn't even know about it before I started. So my coworkers and my manager helped guide me through that. Tableau, I did learn in undergrad. I took a few economics courses where my professor had integrated that into the curriculum, and we just created dashboards throughout the semester. So I did get familiar with it. Some great learning resources I would suggest are like LinkedIn Learning. There are some free courses that are really great. There are also some websites you can find online that give you like practice queries to write. Honestly, just YouTube maybe too. I would suggest those, but like I said, SQL, I didn't even know what it was before I started. So there is the expectation that you will learn as you go. Yeah, Thank you for asking.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mariana. And the next question we have is from Adan de la Garza. He asked, for those who went through the program, does the workplace become entirely hands-off once the transitionary program finishes, or does the environment of connecting with your peers supplement that? So if you all would like to chime in and share your experience, that'll be great.
I can go ahead and kick us off. I have felt that through my experience that even though the cohort program might be over, I just graduated from it last week, your connections are not. And I think it's a great idea to try to maintain them as best as you can. You know, the two leaders of my cohort, the speakers that came in, it's great to maintain those relationships for professional reasons, but it's also great to ask them advice and guidance. So it's true that the, frequent meetings or, occasions that you do with your cohort might not happen anymore, but the people are always going to be there, right? So I would suggest maintain them. And if you are really interested in something that they did, an event, seek it out somewhere else, and maybe those ERGs that I mentioned previously, or see how you can play a hand in creating one yourself.
I would definitely agree with that as well. You want to create these connections. I graduated 4 years ago, and I was just literally talking to my two leads today, and just asking them for like advice on certain things in my life, in my school, and my career. They're always there and available. And I think that's just important too. The real estate industry is really, really small. That's one thing you will realize very quickly. It's very small. So it's important to make sure that you always create those connections and those like bridges, because you never know in the future. But you do, once you are out of the program, it is very hands off. It's what you make of it. I work in the LA office, and my director lives in Virginia, and most of 90% of my team lives in Virginia, and then my manager lives in Dallas. So it's very hands off for me. I'm working with 3 other people over there in LA, so very hands off.
I would just jump in and say I agree with everything that's been said. Networking is definitely a vital part of being at Freddie Mac. Outside of the college hire program, we always push our college hires to network, like meet your peers, of course, your cohort members, but also meet people outside of that, because you never know kind of where your next job is going to come. You never know where it might lead you, or who you might meet who will lead you to somebody else. The cohort program is definitely here, and you have those friends. Like I still talk to friends I made when I started 7 years ago that are still in my life today. The leads, then, I still talk to them. And I even encourage, because I lead one of the IT college hire program, I always encourage our college hires once they graduate, keep us in your circle, reach out to us. I had a recent analyst who graduated 2 years ago text me the other day, just checking in to see how things are going. And I was glad to hear from him. So yes, you might not get those, mandatory events where you get to see everyone once a month, or, those coffee chats and stuff, but you still, I think that cohort, you still kind of move ahead in your career with that cohort. You still have people who will reach out to you. Also, you have the BRGs, or you can reach out to and meet new people. You have people on your team. One of the things that all of my college hires have said is like the best part about working at Freddie Mac, and this is, I'm asking them 3 months in, is the people. Like the people on their team are helpful. The people they meet across Freddie Mac are helpful. Everyone is just so helpful and here to help people, because they know, this is your first job out of college. They want you to have the best experience. So they will help you in any way. And they, you make friends that way too. People help you. And then later on down the line, you're like, oh, you helped me with this. Can you help me again? I have another question. So Freddie Mac is a very welcoming community, and you'll always have a network no matter where you go in the company.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you all for chiming in. And this next question is for you, Aisha. We have a guest ask, what are our important skills to have for the IT intern position?
Yeah, so I would say the the willingness to learn, to be proactive. Again, you're an intern, so you haven't graduated yet. We don't expect you to have had graduated or have a million years of experience. We want interns who are just eager to jump in and get started from day one, learn different things, take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Like I mentioned, you have the opportunity to get your certification. If you choose to get that, that's your, that's up to you. But if you get that, that definitely helps you in your career. So most of the managers are just looking for someone who is willing to learn, who's willing to ask those questions, who's willing to pitch new ideas. We've had, even the interns have been here for 3-4 weeks, and some of them are already asking, why are you guys doing it this way? You could automate it and do it this way. And the managers are so impressed. They're like, they're only a sophomore, and they're asking me about something I've been working on for years that I never thought about. So just, come in with that willingness to learn. Don't be scared to ask questions. I know it can be scary to, you're coming into a company, you don't really know anybody, but people want that. That's why we have these programs, because you guys bring that innovative thinking, those fresh ideas. So just come in ready and prepared to learn and ready to kind of absorb anything that's kind of thrown your way, and you'll have a great experience.
Perfect. And the next question I would like to ask is, are there finance summer internship positions available in New York regional office?
Our finance program, the internship program, finance is based out of Virginia. Now, given the fact that there's remote location availability right now, your location really won't matter, because we're going to be remote until September. So technically I can say yes, but once we're fully back in the office, our internships are primarily in Virginia, out of the Virginia office. We don't have any finance internship in New York, but that could change. We never know what the future holds, but at the moment, it's all based out of McLean, Virginia. Sorry about that.
Perfect. No, thank you so much. And I know that's a good segue for the next question. Paola Romero asked, in terms of how has Freddie Mac shifted from COVID? Has the transition been easy? How has the teams been communicating virtually? And will the cohort and internships be shifting and in person anytime soon? So I'm not sure if anyone has information or would like to share a little bit about the transition Freddie Mac did through COVID. Ayadesha?
So yes, I can start on that. The transition was just make it happen. We went to work on Friday and we didn't go on Monday. We haven't gone in about 1.5 years. Ironically, some finance people were supposed to move in a new building, and they had packed up on Friday. Their stuff was moved to the building, and the stuff is just there, sitting there till now. We use Teams to communicate. I'm in video calls virtually every day. So even though we're not in the office physically, I see all my team members. I see everybody that I work with via Teams. Teams has been what has held us together, if I can use that term. You're on Teams every day. But we've been able to function normally, seamlessly, being remote. That's the beauty of technology. We're not all in the same building, but that's why Jahira, right? Jahira, yes, Jahira is able to work from California, have a manager in Dallas, and her director in Virginia, and they've been working seamlessly that way. Even that was pre-pandemic. So we get by, we adjust, you make things happen. You just do whatever you need to do to get things done. And technology has just been able to help us make that seamless. In terms of going back to the office, I know that for the internships, this summer is going to be remote because we're not going to be in the office yet. The schedule to go back to the office right now is in September. Post-September, which will be next year, really, I am not sure what that looks like for interns and analysts. There might be some flexibility. I can't opine on that because we don't have a definitive answer of what that future state is going to look like.
Thank you, Ayadesha. I don't know, Yahaira, if you want to share a little bit like more about your experience, but I know you shared that during your presentation in terms of being in LA, having your managers and supervisors elsewhere, but still maintaining that communication virtually. So I'm not sure if you want to share a little bit more about that. I'm sure that Paola would appreciate any guidance there and how to deal with that, right?
So I take it as a huge learning opportunity and a huge learning, like a chance to grow and really prove yourself. When I moved to LA, I was 23 at the time. And so that's a little scary, like just kind of pretty fresh entering into your career and then not really having like a manager there, or my manager was there for a year and then had left. And so it's honestly, it showed like, because I don't have someone there, it shows, wow, she's calling in, she's sending out emails, you know, she's on top of it. Like it also puts me, it gives me an advantage because I'm able to grow in my career differently. And so when COVID did come around, it didn't affect me. It was a difference between being in the office, the LA office, and being in my house. So it wasn't that much of a difference, but I'd say it's a great opportunity because that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that, you know, you don't have to have someone on your back to watch you. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know that you have like deadlines and people are counting on you. So to me, it was a great way to show and prove to them that I am more than capable, no matter where I'm at, that I can bring value to our team and meet the deadlines that I need to meet for my job.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Yahaira. And the next question we do have is from Adan de la Garza. He asked, for the single family, multifamily analyst program, how hands-on are you with the individual families?
So I could start with the multifamily side at least. So on the multifamily side, I am in affordable housing. So that's low income housing, that's Section 8, and I'm an underwriter. So I go to their apartments. I go to these homes and I look at the conditions. You know, I make sure that if we're giving these loans out, that they're actually complying and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing with the money that we're giving them. So interacting in that manner, that's how as close as I get with the family. And there's times where people will come up to me and say, hey, you know, can you talk to the manager about this thing that, you know, I've been asking for, like new carpets or something like that. And just knowing that like my word or my saying like, hey, like this person, like, let's talk about this. Like this person's been wanting new carpets, or this person's been wanting this and third, and then they get new carpets or they get new homes, like, or just updated units. It's a very beautiful thing. So I do interact in the sense of inspections. But in my day-to-day life, I'm dealing with banks, I'm dealing with the sellers, I'm dealing with the borrowers. So yeah, that's a little bit about my side.
And I can talk a little bit to the single family. So I do not interact with the home buyers. So single family, Yahaira said her multifamily is apartments, Section 8. Single family is individual properties, your house, like right? So basically, Freddie works in the secondary mortgage market, which the primary mortgage market is home buyer and the bank getting the loan, right? Freddie works one step away, which we work with the banks that give the loan to the home buyer. So in my position, I work with those banks, which are who we call lenders. I work with credit reporting companies that help verify borrower income, information, all of that stuff. So it's actually something I really wanted to do when I first started, and I think eventually I'll get there, is doing maybe something closer to what Yahaira is doing, because I really feel that connection is important. The making home possible, Freddie, that's what Freddie's known for, right? I feel like I would want that connection. So single family is one step away. Right, so we are talking to the lenders, which are the banks, credit reporting companies, and such. We still, depending on your specific role, you still can see some of that borrower information. You might still have access to seeing the property and stuff, but I don't do any sort of home calls or anything like that. So that's the main difference there. Good.
Perfect, wonderful. So I'm actually going to combine these two questions because they are for Aisha. So we have a question from Stephanie who asked, what are more of the responsibilities an intern for the technology program have? If you want to go ahead and start that one, and then I'll ask you the second one from Nathaniel, who asks more
Sure.
about the AW Cloud training.
Sure. So for an intern, it depends. So we have internships across the various departments in IT. So for instance, if you came in as a developer, you would be developing on either software application or a product. So like multifamily and single family, we have groups that support those groups. So you may be developing on an application that supports that the banks use to kind of submit their loans, or you may be helping with the infrastructure in the background, helping to keep all of the programs running, so the business can continue to run. Or if you're doing more of a support side, you might be just doing some application support, monitoring the logs, making sure things are working, or doing service desk tickets where if something breaks, you get a ticket saying, hey, this doesn't work, and you go investigate what is going on. So it just depends on which team you're on, about the day-to-day, like what actual work you'll be doing. Outside of that, like I mentioned, you'll have learning and development opportunities to increase, learning more about Freddie Mac, learning more about your job that you're doing over the summer, having the opportunity to take the AWS certification. So we offer the boot camp training, kind of like a 16-hour course of everything you need to know to pass the test. So you can do that if you're willing to do that. But that's more, your time. So if you're not working on your project or you have some bandwidth where you want to do some self-development, you have those opportunities to do some of that training, go through some of those resources afforded to you. But for the teamwork, it just depends on which team you're on or which department you're in. Each team doesn't do the same thing, which is great. So you have kind of some variety of the different intern roles, and we usually tell you, you don't apply to one role, you'll kind of see the different roles, and which one you apply for is the one you actually would be interviewing for. So it just depends.
Wonderful. And so the next questions, I'm going to combine these two, is
Sure.
for the IT related programs, how does the AWS cloud training work? And the other question is, can an intern attain other certifications that are similar to the AWS one, for example, Cisco?
Yeah, so for the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification, like I mentioned, we offer the bootcamp in-house through what we call Udemy for Business, which is the internal learning resource. Outside of AWS, they have 1,000,001 trainings that you can take, but we offer that AWS certification bootcamp in-house. You take that, you let us know that you passed the practice exam, and then we give you a voucher to sign up to take the AWS actual certification test. Then you take that on your time, whether that is while you're still doing the internship program or after you left the internship and you want to do it, when you're back in school. So we'll just give you the voucher and you're able to do that whenever. For the other certifications, we haven't explored. I mean, you have the opportunity to look through Udemy and see what other boot camps they offer. They offer a lot for most of the certifications. Right now, we're focusing on doing the AWS one since Freddie Mac is, upping all of our kind of technologies and going to the cloud and working on AWS. We want to make sure our interns get that opportunity to learn more about it and leave with that certification. We haven't looked into the Cisco certification yet, but that is definitely something we're looking to. Like, what other certifications can we offer to our interns or even our college hires that'll help them in their current role?
Wonderful. So I do want to give a big shout out to Nicole, who is in the background answering all of your questions. We did have many questions from you all come today. We wanted to make sure that we had enough time to answer, but it looks like we have one left, and it's a good one to end with. And Adan Jimenez asked, can you share why you picked Freddie Mac over any other offers you may have received out of college? So if we could start off with Aisha and then go around for everyone else to answer the question.
Sure. Why I picked Freddie Mac was actually because of the college hire program. I didn't know coming straight out of college what I wanted to do. I didn't have my degree was information sciences technology, and at Penn State, it's just like a typical IT degree. You kind of get different flavor of different IT. So you do a little development, you do some business analyst, you do some project management. So I wasn't really sure what role I should really apply for or where I should go with my career. So when I saw the college hire program and the fact that they helped you and provided you that support, I was like, that's what I need. I don't want to just start a job and I'm kind of like at my desk by myself, not knowing what I needed to do, and no one's really there to help me. So the program is what really kind of hooked me. And the fact that, meeting the people and they provided so much support. My manager was really vital in that too, because she let me try different roles. Not all managers will, but she was really great in letting me saying, "Hey, you're coming in as a systems analyst, but I see you also like doing development. Try both of them. We'll see where your interests lie." And because I had the kind of being the umbrella of the program over that first year, I was able to try both roles. And at the end of that first year, she was like, "Okay, where do you want to go in your career? Let's talk about that next." But that college hire program is what really made me come to Freddie Mac. Also, I went to Penn State, but my family's in the DMV area, so I also wanted to come back home. But the program is really what made me come to Freddie Mac.
I can go next. So aside from what you just explained, like, yes, the program is amazing and it's awesome, and it helps you, it guides you in ways that, as I mentioned before, a lot of companies don't. And, when you enter the adult world too, you have to think about the benefits. You have to think about what can this job offer you when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to dental, when it comes to location, flexibility, work-life balance. That really, really matters. And then also too, let's be honest, the salary is great. The salary is great. It's a great competitive salary that always hooks you in, right? Because everyone needs food in their bellies, right? So, but yeah, the program, the benefits, the salary, I mean, it really won me over. And then once you guys actually go to the campus, it's gorgeous. Like, it's like a college town kind of thing. It's like there's 5 buildings, and there's like this like bridge that connects to all of them, and there's like cafeterias, and there's a basketball court, and there's a gym, and there's like a nutritionist, and there's like a little clinic that you can go to. I mean, it's just a great environment to be in. So that's sums up a little bit of why I chose Freddie, and I don't regret it. So
I can share next. I think this is a really good question to ask. So when I was looking, I was looking at different kinds of jobs, but one that I had also finalized with was this consulting firm in DC. And they had even offered a higher salary than Freddie, but I didn't take it because of 2 main reasons. One, I always heard great things about the people at Freddie, and especially for a corporate job, that was really important to me. How it was the people that made the company. Everyone is supportive. Everyone actually works towards Freddie's mission. So that was really important to me, knowing that I wasn't in some very tense corporate environment, because that's not what I wanted. The other was that I had a personal connection to the company. So like making home possible. Like I said, I'm a first generation, like my parents are first generation immigrants. I'm the first to go to college here. So we were looking for a place to live for a really long time, renting. And when we finally bought our house, it was a really big deal for my family. So I understood what it meant to make home possible in that sense. And that was something I talked about in my interview. So I really wanted to have a helping hand in the mission. And, I've only been here a year, but got lots of places to go still. So that's why I picked Freddie.
I didn't come through the program, but I used to work for Fannie Mae competition, and Fannie Mae is not that good. My experience there wasn't as good as Freddie Mac, and this is not just because I worked at Freddie. At Freddie, you have access to your manager, you have access to your VP, you have town halls. You are treated as a human being and not a tool. You have seen that. I can say this anywhere. Freddie treats us as humans, not just tools to get things done, right? You're first a human being, then you're there to work. So that's why I chose Freddie. That's why I stay at Freddie, right? Because choosing it is one thing, staying is another. That's why I stay at Freddie. If you come to Freddie, what you've heard Mariana, Aisha, and Jahira say, and myself, it's true, right? It's a good balance. It's a great place to work. If you want to learn, there are opportunities there for you to grow, to learn, and have a successful career. So we look forward to seeing your applications across all the programs. And hopefully we'll talk to some, if not all of you, sometime soon.
Well, there you go. Where do I apply? You all, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, a special thank you to Sarah, Nicole, you all, and the Freddie Mac team for putting such a thoughtful information session together. We are thrilled to be working together and making an impact within our community. Teresa Cronin, who you all have been working with, and she will be in communication with you all on best next steps. Just a friendly reminder that the applications will be open in the first week of August. So please keep an eye out for communication from the team, and have a great rest of your day. And if you have any other questions, Teresa and Sarah will be happy to answer them offline. Thank you all.